So he didn't leave like they make you think. He had words with Nip. Left, changed his clothes, and came back. That's all untrue and unfactual.
In that interview, Big U shut down long-standing rumors about Nipsey's death and made some shocking claims about his final moments. For years, people have speculated about what really happened the day Nipsey was killed. But now, Big U is revealing what might have been his final words. Was it a setup? Did Nipsey see it coming? Let's break it all down. The murder of neighborhood Nip and the real street politics. On March 31st, 2019, around 3:20 in the afternoon, Ermias Nipsey Hussle Asghedom was posted up outside his Marathon clothing store in Hyde Park, South Los Angeles. It was Sunday, typically a day for family and preparation for the week ahead. For Nip, he was just making a quick run to help a homie who had recently come home from a bid get some fresh gear. This impromptu good deed would tragically put him in the wrong place at the wrong time. What went down next has been documented through surveillance footage, eyewitness statements, and court records. Eric Ronald Holder Jr., a 29-year-old aspiring rapper who, like Nipsey, had ties to the Rolling 60s, approached Nip and started chopping it up. According to witnesses, including Carrie Lathan, who also caught a bullet in the incident, the conversation was about rumors that Holder was a snitch, serious allegations in the street code. The exchange was tense, but brief, and ended without any physical altercation. Contrary to some of the narratives that popped up after the shooting, Holder didn't immediately bounce to grab his heat and change clothes. Big U specifically addressed this misconception in a later interview before telling us Nipsey's last words.
So he didn't leave like they make you think. He had words with Nip. Left, changed his clothes, and came back. That's all untrue and unfactual.
The actual sequence, according to surveillance footage and witness accounts presented during the trial, was that after speaking with Nipsey, Holder walked to a nearby Master Burger spot, ordered food, and posted up there for a minute. Security cameras caught Holder's behavior inside the restaurant, which Big U described as showing signs that something wasn't right upstairs.
See, and that's where people get it messed up, and that's where it get convoluted. They had words. He went into Master Burgers and ordered a burger. After they had words, and sat in there on camera.
After bouncing from the burger joint, Holder linked back up with Brianita Nicholson, a shorty he was kicking it with at the time. According to Nicholson's testimony, Holder told her to drive around the block, and that's when he loaded up his strap. He then had her park in an alley near the Marathon store. Holder stepped out while Nicholson waited in the whip, completely unaware of what he was about to do. What happened next was captured on surveillance and witnessed by several people. Holder approached Nipsey and the small crew around him from the direction of the alley. Strapped with two pieces, a black semi and a silver revolver, he let off multiple shots. Nipsey caught at least 10 bullets, with wounds that severed his spine and hit his lungs. Two other men, Carrie Lathan and his nephew Shermy Villanueva, also caught strays in the attack. After the shooting, footage showed Holder kicking Nipsey in the head before fleeing back to the waiting whip. This particular detail, the disrespectful kick, would later be pointed to by prosecutors as evidence of the personal nature of the attack, contradicting theories that the murder was a professional hit. The physical evidence and eyewitness testimony painted a clear picture of what went down that afternoon. Far from being a carefully orchestrated assassination, the murder looked more like an impulsive act by someone with personal beef, and according to his defense team, serious mental health issues. The prosecution's case, led by Deputy District Attorney John McKinney, emphasized several key points that shot down conspiracy theories about Nipsey's murder being a contract kill. First, the spontaneous nature of the encounter. Nipsey wasn't even supposed to be at the store that day, making it impossible for anyone to have set up a hit. Second, Holder's behavior, arguing with Nipsey, eating at a nearby spot, then coming back to commit the murder, doesn't match how a professional hitter or someone following orders would move. Eric Holder's own defense team, while trying to get the charges reduced from murder to manslaughter, never suggested their client was moving on behalf of someone else. Instead, they argued Holder acted in the heat of passion after being publicly called a snitch, a serious allegation in gang culture that could put a target on your back. Big U has pointed out these inconsistencies in interviews, noting that the circumstances just don't add up to what would be expected in a planned hit.
The hit didn't make sense to me because who takes this girl on a hit? And who goes, if you're going to go do a hit, if it is a hit, if you're going to go do a hit, who goes to confront the guy? He already know, I'm finna do this dude. Who goes to confront the guy, leave, and then come back?
No, you got it wrong.
The aftermath of the shooting moved quick. Holder fled the scene with Nicholson, who testified she had no idea what had happened until later seeing it on the news. 2 days after the shooting, on April 2nd, 2019, Holder turned himself in at a mental health clinic in Bellflower, California. He was subsequently charged with 1 count of first-degree murder, 2 counts of attempted murder, 2 counts of assault with a firearm, and possession of a firearm by a felon. The trial of Eric Holder Jr., delayed by COVID, finally kicked off in June 2022, more than 3 years after Nipsey's murder. During the trial, the prosecution brought overwhelming evidence connecting Holder to the crime, including surveillance footage, eyewitness testimony, and Brianita Nicholson's testimony. She got immunity for cooperating. Holder's defense team, led by public defender Aaron Jansen, didn't even try to deny their client pulled the trigger. Instead, they argued the crime wasn't premeditated, but was done in the heat of passion after Nipsey allegedly called Holder a rat. This accusation, they claimed, was especially provoking given where it happened, in front of other gang members on Rollin' 60's turf. After a 3-week trial, the jury only needed less than an hour on the second day of deliberations to reach a verdict. On July 6, 2022, Holder was convicted of first-degree murder, 2 counts of attempted voluntary manslaughter, lesser charges than the attempted murder initially filed, 2 counts of assault with a firearm, and possession of a firearm by a felon. On February 22, 2023, Judge H. Clay Jackie II hit Holder with 60 years to life, 25 years to life for the murder, another 25 for a gun enhancement, and 10 years for the assault with a firearm on the 2 bystanders. At 33 years old during sentencing, Holder is basically cooked for life. Throughout the entire investigation and trial, not a single piece of evidence emerged linking Big U or anybody else to planning or ordering Nipsey's murder. The police investigation, which was extensive given Nip's status and the public nature of the crime, focused solely on Eric Holder Jr. as the only perpetrator. The official story, backed by evidence presented in court, describes a murder motivated by personal beef and a perceived violation of respect, not a calculated hit ordered by someone else. This narrative was further reinforced by Holder's own statements to law enforcement and through his legal defense, which centered on the claim that he snapped after being called a snitch. As Big U himself noted in an interview, the investigation into Nipsey's murder was handled by top-tier authorities, given Nipsey's stature and connections.
And believe me, like I say, this case was investigated by the highest level of the branch. That man got a letter from the president.
The message is clear. If there was any evidence implicating others in a conspiracy to murk Nipsey Hussle, the feds would have found it given how deep they dug.
Well, I know for a fact if they could get you, they'd get you.
And they
if they thought for a second that you had something to do with it and they could prove it, you out of here.
Despite these facts, rumors and conspiracy theories about Nipsey's murder started circulating almost immediately after his death, with many trying to implicate Big U. Let's examine some of these theories, where they came from, and why they've stuck around despite having no receipts to back them up. The cap the conspiracies, and Big U keeping it a buck. When tragedy hits the culture, especially when it takes out a beloved figure, conspiracy theories start popping up faster than new sneaker drops. The murder of Nipsey Hussle was a prime example. Despite the mountain of evidence pointing to Eric Holder Jr. as the sole shooter, acting on his own personal feelings, a whole web of conspiracy theories emerged in the aftermath of Nip's death. Many of these theories tried to put Big U in the mix, attempting to connect him to the murder with zero credible evidence to back it up. The relationship between clickbait and grief is complex. For some folks, it's hard to accept that a talented artist and community leader could get taken out over something that seems so trivial as a perceived insult. There's gotta be more to the story, some grand conspiracy, powerful enemies, hidden agendas. This need for a bigger explanation is often what drives people to create and spread these theories, regardless of whether the facts support them. In Nipsey's case, several major conspiracy theories gained traction, especially on social media. One of the most persistent involved Big U, suggesting he orchestrated Nipsey's murder over business beefs, jealousy, or other alleged grudges from their past business relationship. These theories were pushed by various individuals on social media and podcasts, including former death row rapper SKG and others like Loose Cannon on the No Jumper podcast, who straight up accused Big U of being connected to Nipsey's death. These claims, with zero proof to back them up, still managed to spread like wildfire across social platforms, creating a narrative that stuck around despite contradicting all the official investigation findings and court records. One particularly baseless theory suggested that Big U was in his feelings about Nipsey bringing DJ Khaled to Crenshaw, something Big U addressed directly.
Which is so funny, when Khaled was my friend, And
that didn't make sense.
Posts on platforms like X, formerly Twitter, from accounts like at I Love Skip further pushed conspiracy theories, claiming Big U knew about Nipsey's murder beforehand or had set it up due to contract disputes. These posts referenced unverified statements like Loose Cannon claiming Big U had called him 30 minutes before the shooting, accusations serious enough that Big U reportedly sent a cease and desist letter to the No Jumper podcast after they discussed these claims. It's important to understand that none of these conspiracy theories are backed by evidence from the police investigation, court proceedings, or credible witnesses. They're speculation at best and straight up defamation at worst. Big U has consistently and strongly denied any involvement in Nipsey's murder. In a 2021 Drink Champs interview, he addressed the rumors directly, calling them baseless and expressing how they hurt his family. He's maintained that despite their professional falling out years earlier, he and Nipsey had squashed their beef, and he had nothing but respect for Hussle's career and community work. The power of these rumors to persist despite being repeatedly debunked speaks to both how social media operates and the deep impact of Nipsey's death on his fans and community. When emotions are running high, critical thinking often takes a back seat to what feels right, regardless of the actual evidence. These unfounded theories have real consequences. As Big U himself pointed out, they disrespect Nipsey's family by distracting from the truth and potentially making it harder for them to heal.
And it's crazy because you do the family a disjustice. And you got a lot of people that do the family disjustice when you keep this bull crap alive, and not focus on what really happened.
The tendency for people to look for a villain in tragic situations was something Big U also addressed, pointing out how this need for a bad guy often overshadows the more straightforward but truthful explanations.
But that goes to show you that no matter what you do in life, somebody always got to have a bad guy. But all of that is shot when the man said on the stand, or the man said through his lawyer why he did what he did.
It's crucial to understand that Big U had no close relationship with Eric Holder Jr., despite both having ties to the Rolling 60s. As Big U explained, the Rolling 60s is a massive organization with thousands of members across different age groups and circles.
And you gotta understand, the 60s is a very big unit. Like I said, 4,000 or 5,000 dudes coming and going. He wasn't in my age bracket and I wasn't in entertainment and music. That was, in fact, they kid. You got your team, Jay, but your boys ain't gonna know Jay. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, it may be your top dudes who you every single day who know Jay, but your boys not gonna know Jay. Right. Because you got your own team. Nip had his own team.
This clarification matters because some conspiracy theories try to establish a direct connection between Big U and Holder, suggesting Holder was Big U's hitman, a claim with zero evidence to support it. The spread of these conspiracy theories got more complicated when Big U caught a case in March 2025, getting indicted on 43 counts, including murder, extortion, fraud, and racketeering, as part of a federal RICO case targeting the Rolling 60s Crips. These charges alleged he ran a mafia-like operation, including involvement in the 2021 murder of aspiring rapper Rayshawn Williams in Las Vegas. It's crucial to understand that these charges, while serious, have nothing to do with Nipsey Hussle's murder. The indictment doesn't connect Big U to Hussle's death, nor does it mention any involvement in planning or ordering the 2019 shooting. Still, the timing of these legal problems inevitably reignited speculation about Big U's past, including his relationship with Nipsey. The way people have mixed up these separate issues, Big U's 2025 RICO case and Nipsey's 2019 murder, shows how easily unrelated events can get connected in people's minds, especially when strong emotions and existing narratives are involved. When evaluating the various claims about Nipsey Hussle's death, it's essential to focus on verified facts and credible sources. The most reliable accounts of Nipsey's final moments come from court records from Eric Holder's trial and from Nipsey's brother, Samuel Black Sam Asghedom, who has spoken about the tragedy in interviews. In a 2024 interview with Big Boy, Black Sam detailed his brother's final moments, describing the shooting as premeditated from Holder's perspective. He explained how Eric Holder had approached the store shirtless to scope the scene, returned wearing a red shirt, and shot Nipsey after approaching through an alley. Sam emphasized that security protocols weren't followed that day, a slip-up that tragically contributed to the circumstances that allowed the shooting to happen. Importantly, Sam didn't mention Big U in this context, nor did he suggest any conspiracy beyond Holder's individual actions. This account lines up with the evidence presented at trial, which established Holder as acting alone, motivated by personal beef rather than taking orders from someone else. The prosecution's case, which got Holder convicted of first-degree murder, was built on the premise that the killing was premeditated by Holder himself, not that he was carrying carrying out orders from Big U or anyone else. Nipsey Hussle's legacy goes way beyond how he died. As an artist, entrepreneur, and community leader, he left an indelible mark on Los Angeles and the entire hip-hop community. His commitment to economic empowerment, education, and peace stands as a testament to his vision for a better future, a vision that continues through projects like Vector 90, the Marathon Clothing, and the various community initiatives he championed. Since his passing, Nipsey has been honored in numerous ways. He received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame on August 15, 2022, what would have been his 37th birthday, a date that was also declared Nipsey Hussle Day in Los Angeles. His music continues to inspire new generations of artists, and his business model has influenced countless entrepreneurs, particularly those looking to invest in underserved communities. The real story of Nipsey Hussle's murder is one of senseless violence stemming from personal beef, a tragedy that robbed the world of a visionary artist and community leader. It's not some elaborate conspiracy, despite all the rumors suggesting otherwise. By focusing on the verified facts and rejecting unfounded speculation, we honor Nipsey's memory and contribute to a culture of truth rather than clickbait. As for Big U, the baseless accusations linking him to Nipsey's death serve as a cautionary tale about the power of rumors and the responsibility we all share in checking the information we consume and share. In an era of social media and instant communication, it's more important than ever to distinguish between credible information and baseless gossip, especially when that gossip can cause real harm to real people. Nipsey Hussle's mantra, "The marathon continues," speaks to the enduring nature of his work and vision. By focusing on his positive impact rather than unfounded conspiracy theories about his death, we ensure that his legacy continues in the spirit he intended, one of empowerment, education, and community investment. At the end of the day, that's the most fitting tribute to a man who dedicated his life to lifting up his people. Now let's talk about the hood and how Big U knows so much. The connect between Big U and Neighborhood Nip. To really grasp what was happening between Big U and Neighborhood Nip, we gotta take it back to the beginning, to South Los Angeles in the mid-2000s. Eugene Big U Henley wasn't just any dude from the streets. He was a former heavyweight from the rolling 60s neighborhood Crips who had flipped the script, transforming himself into a respected community figure and music industry connect. When Big U crossed paths with the young hustler from Crenshaw, he recognized game recognizing game. In 2008, Big U put Nipsey on the roster at his production company, Unique Music, linking him with the industry vet Steve Lobel for management. This wasn't just another business deal. This was a pivotal moment for Nip, giving him the infrastructure to level up from local phenom to something bigger. It was the type of cosign that can change a young artist's trajectory in the game. The connection between these two wasn't just business though, there was blood involved too. Word is, Nipsey's baby mama was Big U's niece, creating one of those complex situations where family and money mix. If you know anything about the industry, you know that combination can be explosive. And sure enough, like many situations in the music business, the partnership between Big U and Nipsey eventually hit some turbulence. By 2011, tensions were brewing. Sources say there was beef over some music equipment, and that friction eventually boiled over into a physical altercation. The incident popped off near Nip's Marathon Clothing store in Crenshaw. What started as an argument involving Nipsey's BM, Big U's niece, escalated real quick. Nip's brother, Samuel Black Sam Asghedom, got involved, and when things got heated, Sam allegedly let off a warning shot. That brought the LAPD into the mix, and the situation blew up even further. This public beef had the streets talking about a permanent rift between Nipsey and Big U, though Big U later claimed they had squashed it. Either way, the incident marked a serious crack in what had once been a solid partnership, and it planted seeds for the speculation that would follow years later. Despite the drama, both men continued making major moves in their community. For Nipsey, the post-Big U era was when he really started showing the world he wasn't just another rapper. He was a visionary, a businessman, and a leader in every sense. Nip's journey from independent hustler to Grammy-nominated artist shows exactly why he called his label All Money In. This man flipped the industry script with his innovative marketing. When he dropped the Crenshaw mixtape in 2013 and priced physical copies at $100 each, people thought he was bugging, until all 1,000 copies sold out in 24 hours. When Jay-Z copped 100 copies for $10,000, it wasn't just a cosign, it was validation that Nipsey's unconventional hustle made sense. By 2018, Neighborhood Nip had accomplished what most independent artists only dream about: critical acclaim, commercial success, and a Grammy nomination for his debut album, Victory Lap. The project, featuring heavyweights like K-Dot, YG, and CeeLo Green, debuted at number 4 on the Billboard 200 and showcased Nip's evolution from mixtape rapper to full-fledged artist with something real to say. On the business tip, Nipsey was really out here showing what buying back the block looks like in real life. The Marathon Clothing store wasn't just a spot to cop merch, it was economic empowerment in the flesh, creating jobs right in in the heart of Crenshaw. When he co-founded Vector 90, a STEM and co-working space in the hood, he was literally building a bridge between the streets and Silicon Valley. Nip's real estate moves, buying the whole strip mall where his store was located, wasn't just flexing, it was strategic resistance against gentrification. He was keeping dollars circulating in the community instead of letting outside investors push the original residents out. His support for local schools, playgrounds, and resources for the homeless had big figures like Obama acknowledging his impact. What really set Nipsey apart was how he moved in the streets. Despite being Rollin' 60s affiliated, he was actively working to broker peace between rival sets. He performed alongside Blood-affiliated artists like YG, showing unity instead of division. When he got murked, he was literally one day away from meeting with the LAPD about reducing gang violence, a meeting that never happened because of what went down on March 31st, 2019. As for Big U, his path also evolved beyond his early music industry days. After parting ways with Nipsey, he doubled down on his community activism, focusing on gang intervention through his Developing Options program. His transformation from street figure to community leader made him a respected voice in conversations about hood politics and rehabilitation. It's worth noting that despite that public fallout in 2011, there's no solid evidence suggesting that Big U and Nipsey were still beefing in the years leading up to Nip's passing. In fact, Big U has consistently maintained that they had squashed their differences. But everything changed on March 31st, 2019, a date that would forever mark both men's legacies, though in completely different ways. That Sunday afternoon, Nipsey Hussle was gunned down outside his Marathon clothing store, sending shockwaves through not just the rap game, but through entire communities. The murder, caught on camera, didn't just end the life of a beloved artist and community leader. It also spawned a web of conspiracy theories that would eventually try to implicate Big U, despite zero credible evidence. Thanks for watching. Check out more boxes on the screen.